What's going on, everybody? B Scott here with you, and on today's show, we got your tight end sit starts heading into week 7. Obviously, you got a lot of must-start tight ends, but I'm going to give you some stream options and some guys that I would be sitting this week. So keep it locked and loaded right here at the first 4 downs. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. As I mentioned in the preview, we're going over the tight end sit starts heading into week 7. So before we get to today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff, and then comment if there's a tight end you want to hear more about, one that I didn't mention, or want to hear more about. Drop in the comment section. I'll be glad to give you my advice and my opinion on sit-start questions, tight end stream options, whatever you're looking at this week. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to start with obviously the must-start tight ends. Just go through them briefly and quickly. Travis Kelce on the road against Tennessee Titans. Tennessee's been decent to the tight end position, but Travis Kelce, you're starting him anyway. Plain and simple, set it and forget it. Number 1 tight end. Mark Andrews on the road against Cincinnati Bengals. Another tough spot, but Mark Andrews has been great over the last 2-3 weeks. You're going to be starting him. No questions about it. Darren Waller versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a smash spot for Darren Waller. The secondary has been their plus spot, especially on the outside of those receivers. Maybe limiting Henry Ruggs here in this game, and you can see a lot of Darren Waller on the underneath. So I like Darren Waller this week, possibly to finish as the tight end 1. Looking to bounce back. He's been solid at the tight end position, but hasn't been what you drafted him for. So look for Darren Waller this week. Should have a big week. Noah Fant coming off a great game. 9 catches, 97 yards and a touchdown. Playing the Cleveland Browns. Their secondary, their defense overall has almost just given up. I don't understand. Now, yes, it is on the road. It's a tough spot. But Noah Fant seeing the volume, and that's what you like at the tight end position. So I'm starting Noah Fant. And then we're looking at TJ Hockenson, another guy you just got a must start on a weekly basis. Had a few down weeks, 11 targets just this week, 8 catches, 74 yards, a decent day at the tight end position. And you're going to be starting him anyway. The tight end position is a wasteland. We got a few buys, so you're going to be starting TJ Hockenson if you drafted him. Kyle Pitts coming off the bye. Excellent spot for him. On the road against Miami Dolphins. 19 targets over his last 2 games, coming off his best game of the season. 9 catches, 119 yards and a touchdown. And hopefully they can keep that momentum going coming into this week. He's playing the Miami Dolphins, like I said, and it should be a good spot for him. Now we look at Hunter Henry. I'm starting him too. Playing the New York Jets. Henry's had 3 straight games with a touchdown. Playing well, getting acclimated into that offense. Mac Jones starting to open it up a little bit. And the Jets defense doesn't scare me by any means. So start Hunter Henry this week with confidence. And then Mike Gesicki, he's a start for me. Been good on the season. Averaging 7 targets per game. 8 for 115 yards just last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got the Atlanta Falcons. Once again, the secondary that just doesn't scare me. So Mike Gesicki's a start for me. Their offensive weapons have been banged up all year. No Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, if he's healthy and can go, Preston Williams. I mean, they've just been at a lack of targets. So obviously, I like Mike Gesicki this week. Dallas Goedert on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders, giving up 7th most fantasy points to tight ends. And on top of that, no Zach Ertz. This is the first game we're going to see and what he can do. Now, yes, he's on the COVID list. Hopefully he's removed for the game. You got to pay attention to that. But if he is, it's a must-start spot. You've seen what Noah Fant just did last week. Noah Fant was the tight end 1 on the season. So give me some Dallas Goedert this week. Also, Zach Ertz, his first game with the Arizona Cardinals. We'll have to see what's going to happen here, but I got to be starting him. Playing a Houston secondary. It's giving up the 2nd most fantasy points to tight ends. 3 straight games, giving up a touchdown to the tight end position. Zach Ertz is still a manageable tight end and in an offense that's absolutely electric. So give me Zach Ertz this week. He's a start for me. I like Ricky Seals-Jones on the road against Green Bay Packers. 15 targets over the last 2 games. The defense for the Washington football team is atrocious. Plain and simple, they give up a lot of points, fantasy points. So give me Ricky Seals-Jones in a potential shootout with the Green Bay Packers. I like him on the volume base alone. You saw the big play ability he has. Caught the 39-yard touchdown. So start Ricky Seals-Jones. And now I got a few sits for you. Now Higbee, I talk about sitting him every week, and one of his best weeks, I had him as a sit, but I'm going to sit him this week. Here's a couple reasons why. He hasn't cleared 40 yards in a game since week 1. Sure, he's seeing 5 to 6 targets, and I understand if you have to start him because tight ends, we just don't know a lot about some of the guys that we already drafted and dropped, and Tonyan, and just these guys that just haven't worked out. So yes, if you're starting him on the volume base alone, he is playing the Detroit Lions. They've been middle of the pack against tight ends. Not too bad, to be honest. So if you got to start Higbee, I understand, but I'm going to be sitting him this week for sure. Another sit, Mo Alley-Cox. I really liked him over the last couple weeks, matchup based. And this week, on the road against San Francisco 49ers that just doesn't give up fantasy points to tight ends. Outside of TJ Hockenson week 1, they've been absolutely outstanding. So I'm sitting Mo Alley-Cox this week. And then Gerald Everett. He's a sit for me also. You saw, we want to say 2-3 catches, 40 yards, something like that with Geno Smith. under center, but I can't trust the production. And then they're facing New Orleans Saints team, giving up 0 touchdowns to tight ends. And Gerald Everett just hasn't really worked out. So I'm going to be sitting him this week. And then Cleveland Browns, I'm sitting all the tight ends, playing the Denver Broncos. The defense really has fallen apart a little bit, but against tight end position, they're still very, very good. On top of that, David Njoku, is he going to be healthy in this game and ready to play? Austin Hooper, I just don't know the rotation here. And Baker just hasn't played very well. So the Cleveland tight ends are a sit for me this week. So now I got a couple stream options. CJ Uzomah on the road against Baltimore Ravens, coming off a game in which 3 targets, 3 catches, 15 yards, and a touchdown. Not great of a day, to be honest, but Baltimore Ravens giving up 5th most fantasy points to tight ends, the most receptions, 4th most receiving yards, and this could be a potential shootout here in a divisional matchup between the Bengals and the Ravens. And then one more dart throw option, Ross Dwelley of the San Francisco 49ers at home against the Indianapolis Colts, giving up the 6th most fantasy points to tight ends. And Dwelley has done a little bit of work and had some production when Kittle's out. You saw it last year. So Ross Dwelley in a deep dart throw at the tight end position. He's an option if you're really hurting for tight ends. So anyway, that's been the tight ends sit starts. I got some starts, the obvious ones, streams, and then some sits for you heading into week 7. So if you like the video, don't forget, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff, and then comment. If there's any tight ends you want to hear more about, drop in the comment section. I'll be glad to get back to you. So for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott, and I'm out.